Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon X and Y video. Now, today's video is not an update video of any sort. We did not get any information recently since the last video I made. However, there was a bit of information on that I want to talk a little bit about today, actually a little bit more in depth than I did before in my initial video that mentioned this. But before we get started, I just wanted to point out that even though there hasn't been any information recently, we do know, according to Cerebi at least, that E3 has Pokemon X and Y on the Nintendo panel, so we will actually get a bunch of information on that, hopefully on June 11th, which is when I think it is. So if you are, waiting for the next update on the new games, that's probably when it's going to happen, which isn't that far off. It's only about 2 weeks away. So you can sit tight and get really excited about that because I'm sure it'll be an awesome reveal, and I'm sure we're going to learn a ton of things, especially because it's at E3, so that means it'll probably be like a bigger reveal than normal, which is just the information from the magazines we've gotten. But anyways, to talk about what I want to today, one of the moves that we were introduced to that is new to 6th Gen is a move known as Parabolic Charge. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that and what we know and how I feel like that is going to impact the electric type metagame, similarly to how Volt Switch completely changed the electric type metagame in 5th Gen. So these types are just getting a ton of awesome moves nowadays, so it's really cool to see that, and it's really awesome to see how electric types keep getting improved with the addition of moves for each generation. So without any further waiting, let's just first start by taking a look at what this move looks like. This is a clip taken from one of the videos that was posted with the most recent information that we got on Pokemon X and Y. So let's take a look at that right now. So as we can see from this clip, and I'll just kind of loop it a few times so you get the idea of what it looks like. Basically, it looks like Helioptile, which is this new Pokemon, in case you don't know the name of it, is basically just shooting off like what looks like a ball of electricity. It's hitting Fletchling and then coming back to it to basically simulate how the move works. Now, it's a really cool animation, honestly, and it's really awesome to see all the Pokemon rendered in 3D like this. I'm really excited about that when the game comes out, as a side note. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about now what we do know about this move and what we don't know about this move, but can kind of guess what it will be. So to start with what we currently know, and that's actually not a lot, the only thing that we do know so far is Parabolic Charge is an electric type move that heals the user while damaging the opponent. So basically it works the exact same way Giga Drain works, the same way Drain Punch works, and all those draining moves. This is just the electric version of it, which is really cool. And the only other thing we do know about it is that Helioptile learns it, which is one of the new 6th Gen Pokemon for X and Y, and it's one that I am personally extremely excited about. I cannot wait to do an analysis video on this Pokemon because I feel like there's going to be a ton of things it can do, especially since I can probably assume at this point that it will have the ability Solar Power, which just yields a ton of different options, especially because of this move, because obviously Solar Power makes you lose HP while in the sun, but Parabolic Charge can recover that off. But that is just thing for another time. I'm really excited to talk about that if that is the case though, but I digress for now. But what we don't know about this move and what we can kind of assume about this move just based on every other draining move that we know, I'm going to assume that the base power of this move is going to be 75, similarly to how Giga Drain is, Drain Punch, all those other draining moves. I'm assuming that this will be no different, so I'm hoping that that will at least be the case, which will be really cool. The other thing that we can assume is that it will have a 10 base PP with a 16 base max PP. So that's really cool. You get to use it a bunch in battle. Another thing that we can assume is that it will have 100% accuracy, which is awesome as well. And then the big question in my mind, at least, is whether or not it will be a physical or special move. Now, based on what we've seen in the animation of what this move looks like from the clip I just showed you, I'm going to assume it's a special move just because it doesn't look like this Pokemon makes contact or like has a weird thing that looks like it would make contact with the opponent at any point during the animation of this move. So I'm going to assume it's special, which gives a whole host of things that could do with it. If it was physical though, but I don't know if it will be, I just don't think so, that also could yield other options to what this this move can do for certain other Pokemon, but I'll get more into that in a second. But the other thing that we can also assume is that it will heal 50% of your HP, which is what all the other moves, or heal 50% of the HP damage that you did to your opponent back to you, which is what all the other moves do as well. The only other big question we have about this move is if it's going to be a TM or not. If it is a TM, that is great because that means that legendary Pokemon that can't breed can learn it. So a Pokemon like Mew or Raikou, which I will get to also in a second, could learn this. And that's really cool for Mew and Raikou for the same reason, which I will also talk about in a second. I'm just getting ahead of myself because I'm excited. But also, if it's a TM, that means like everything can learn it. But if it's not, if it's breedable, that means probably only electric types can get it. So that's fine. No big deal there. But it would be a lot cooler if it was a TM because that could allow it to be more readily used by everything. As for the last thing that I wanted to talk about in this video are all the Pokemon that came off the top of my head that I feel like will benefit extremely from this new move. So the first one that I wanted to mention was Raikou, which is one that I hinted at before, just because of how effective sub-calm mindsets with this Pokemon will become with this new move. Since obviously Substitute makes you lose HP, and Parabolic Charge will recover off a lot of that HP that you're using to make the subs, thus allowing you to make more subs and also just survive a heck of a lot longer in battle. So I feel like this move on Raikou will be absolutely amazing. Similarly, Raichu and also Plusle, though I didn't mention it just because Raichu's better, more or less. Raichu will be able to make use of Nasty Plot sets with this move, potentially with a Life Orb as well, just because that move will be recovering off a lot of the Life Orb recoil, and Nasty Plot will only increase its power, meaning that you get increased recovery from that move. As for Electros, you actually get insane coverage with Giga Drain and Parabolic Charge, potentially. And that's really cool because you get constant healing damage while you're using this Pokemon, which is awesome. Plus, both the moves can work very well in combination with each other, since obviously ground types are immune to electric moves, and Giga Drain is super effective against those ground types, and things of that nature. So Electros will definitely benefit a lot from this from an offensive standpoint. As for Rotom, you will actually have to rely less on Pain Split now because of this move if it is able to learn it, which is really awesome because Pain Split really isn't the most reliable form of recovery anyway, and that also frees up a move slot for you to use something else on a Rotom set that would normally have Pain Split, which is really freaking cool, especially like the sub Life Orb Rotom, the normal form one that people use, the Ghost Electric one, where you have Substitute Life Orb, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, and Pain Split. You can now get rid of Thunderbolt for Parabolic Charge and switch up Pain Split for maybe a completely different move entirely, which is really cool. As for more defensive Pokemon that would benefit from this, I have 4 here that I feel like would really have their survivability increased by using this move. The first of which is Ampharos, just because I'm very partial to Ampharos. Ampharos can also dual screen, so dual screening plus having access to Heal Bell and then Parabolic Charge for your own recovery and electric damage is amazing. So that's a thing. I think that'll be an awesome defensive set for Ampharos. Plus it has static, which is really annoying to annoy the opponent with. Similarly, Lantern works basically the same way, but it has that added water typing to make it even that much better, which is really cool. So that'll also benefit. Luxray more so because of its ability Intimidate. So a physically defensive Luxray with Intimidate can now be more powerful with this move. Luxray isn't as powerful of a special attacker as it is a physical attacker, but if you're running a defensive set, you might as well use Parabolic Charge if it could learn it to allow it to recover HP while it intimidates stuff and stays in battle. And lastly, Stunfisk, because Stunfisk is your stealth rocker, and it can be really awesome if it has recovery like that. So these are just a few Pokemon that came off the top of my head that I feel like would really benefit this in different ways. Obviously, there are a few on here that could still benefit. Like I said, Plusle before, Jolteon, all those other Pokemon could benefit from it, but these are just the few that I figured would have the greatest, or that this move would have the greatest effect on. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if you thought this was a pretty good review on this new move, because I've been wanting to do this for a little while, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do. But anyways, that is it for this video, everyone. So take care, goodbye, I'll see you next time, and let me know what you think about Parabolic Charge.